What's going on, everybody? It's your favorite dating coach, and as you can see by the title, we're switching something up a little bit. I'm going to start a new series called A Guy's Perspective, which is basically going into detail on the subject at hand and getting into the guy's perspective, the guy's look or outlook on the topic, right? And as you can see, we're talking about single moms today, and there's two reasons I wanted to do this. One, I think girls have or women have girls and women nowadays, right, have a big misconception on what guys actually think of single moms, and in these stigmas or these stereotypes that come with them. And secondly, I was asked several times in my inbox to go over this topic. Okay, so the first thing I want to touch on is the benefits of dating a single mom. And I'm talking personal experience here. When because I dated a single mom before for a while, or a long enough time, I would say 6 months, 7 months. And I will tell you that I had a I'm going to go over the benefits here. I had a very, 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 very strong attraction to her. And the reason for that was, not only did I love her, well, I didn't love her, but I did love her kid, right? I was in love with that little kid, her daughter. That girl meant the world to me. I'm telling you, I gave my all to her. I gave everything to that girl. She was just awesome, innocent, amazing. She brought me back down to reality, made me feel like, the simple things, or maybe realize about the simple things in life instead of always being, work and hectic and adult life and stuff like that. And that's something that you can't put a price on, right? You cannot put a price on that. But other than that, going back, to the woman I actually dated, a lot of people don't realize the benefits of, or the characteristics or attributes you pick up when you're a single mom, right? And I truly realize this. Maybe the single mom might not realize it because she deals with it day to day. And of course, if you look in the mirror at yourself every day, you ain't gonna see anything different because you're seeing it every day, right? You're seeing the growth, day by day. However, when you're dating someone who is totally opposite of a single mom, you will see it. And that's things like, I believe a single mom is more patient, is more loving, more caring. She has a bigger focus on life and goals because she needs to, right? She's putting her daughter before, a good mom at least is putting her daughter before herself. She's being selfless. She's sacrificing more, and these are things you cannot put a price on. So when you go into the relationship, as a male who's never dated a single mom before, and she comes off very caring, she's a good listener, a very good communicator, she's more patient, she's more kind, loving, selfless, giving, you're just like, holy, it kind of catches you off guard. And let me tell you something, it's very, very, very relaxing and rewarding to be with someone who is like that, because it's very hard to find nowadays. Not saying if you're not a single mom you don't have these things, but you kind of have to mold and become a certain person to be a great single mom. Now, with that being said, let's talk about the baggage, right? I'm putting big quotations on that because I'm going to explain what baggage actually is. A lot of single moms come to me and they're like, "You guys don't want to date me because I have a child. Guys don't want to date me because they don't want to be the father figure. They think I'm looking for a father figure. I'm looking for some financial means to help take care of my kid," and stuff like that. And the way I kind of want to explain baggage is the way you handle the situation, right? And before we even get into it, I want to explain how a male looks at this. I say it all the time. A guy looks at a woman as, which I think both sexes do this, but a guy looks more at a woman as an asset or a liability. When he gets into again, because guys, the testosterone, the evolutionary drive, all that, guys are very, very much about progression, moving forward, goal-oriented, ambitious, right? And if a guy dates a woman and he gets into, and he figures out, or he learns that she's a asset, then great. Like, she's moving me towards my goals. That's awesome. Great. I want to be with her longer. Longer the better. Everything's grand. Great. But when she becomes a liability, right, like she's pulling him away from his goals, he starts pushing away. He's like, I don't want this. It's a risk. I'm not about the risk. I'm not about the liabilities. I'm not about that life. So a lot of women think when a guy, when he goes in, he's like, oh, I don't want this. I don't want that. Da, 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 da. When that's not actually the case. See, when it comes to baggage, a guy looks at it as, can she handle the situation or not? Okay, and let me give you an example. Let's say there's two types of women in the exact same situation. They just have different mindsets. There's mom A, who is bitching, complaining. The father's a fuck up. He's a deadbeat. He doesn't pay his child support. So I'm having financial problems. The whatever else, right? I don't have time to do this. I don't have time to do that. I want to go do my thing, but I can't because I have a kid, or just whatever it is, right? Whatever the problem is, she's bitching. And then there's mom B, who's the exact opposite. She's in the exact same situation. The dad's a deadbeat. She doesn't have a lot of time to do things. She's always working to make things or to pay the bills and stuff like that. However, her mindset's different. She doesn't take the victim role. And I'm not saying you women do, right? I understand it's hard. I don't know what it's like being a single mom, so I can't say. I'm just telling you from what I see from experience, or what I see from my view, right? My lens. And the second mom, and what guys like, of course, the second mom, no matter what the problems are, she handles the situation. She says, I'll get it done, okay? A great example of this is, I know a woman who's a good friend of mine who her dad, or the father left, right? The father left, didn't pay anything, barely visits the kid. She had to go through college on her own, pay for it. She became a dental hygienist. She had to raise that kid on her own, and now she just bought a house, right? I never heard her once, in all the time we've been friends, I never heard her once bash the father. Never. She might joke around like, hey, you talk to me more than he does, but she never bashes him, never bitches about money. She always says, I'll make it happen, I'll make it work, it's fine, right? And when a woman has a control over the situation, the baggage is gone. The guy doesn't have to worry about picking up, and there's nothing wrong with it. Maybe sometimes someone needs someone else's help, right? And the guy would go in there and help. I'm not saying the guy doesn't want help at all. It's like, no, I'm not about that life. I don't want to help you or that kid. That's not what I'm saying. But when you first meet someone, you want to be with someone who just isn't a liability. I hate to say it like that, but this single mom was a very, very, very strong woman who controlled the situations. And that was very, very sexy and very attractive of her. She was a very strong woman. And again, you can't blame the guy for thinking this, because it's more of the lizard brain, the chimp brain, right? It's a much deeper thing. Like, he's attracted to a strong woman. He's attracted to a woman who is nurturing, and again, he's attracted to it because she's able, against all odds, to take care of this child, which is the goal of every, tribe or organism, whatever you want to call it, right? Like, we get together, we team up, boy, girl, insert whatever, to make this kid and to raise it, to hand off our offspring and to pass on our DNA. That's the goal. So when you have a woman who can control the situation, not complain. Again, there's nothing wrong with complaining. Both sexes do it. I'm not saying you have to be chippy, ha ha ha, the whole time, right? Because that's impossible. You're human. He knows that. I know that. You know that. Your kid probably knows that. But I'm saying, as like when someone thinks of you, is she a go-getter, or she sit back and play the victim mindset, right? I mean, that's how I look at you at a whole. And that's kind of how guys go about it. So the baggage myth, I would say, is completely BS. It's how the woman handles the situation. Because again, if you're a woman who can sit there and you can handle whatever's thrown at you, a guy's going to find you very attractive, because you're strong, you're nurturing, you have that feminine, which is very attractive to men, right? The feminine motherly role. You show that you're able to raise an offspring against all odds. And that's very, very, very attractive to a man. So what does this have to do with everything or anything, right? When you're trying to get with a guy, and you make the focus around your kid, like, I know a lot of women who make the focus around their kid in the very beginning, like the first date. There's nothing wrong with letting the guy know you have the kid, right? That you love the kid and what you guys do. Sorry, man, I got to drink something. However, they subconsciously kind of like go off on a tangent, and it sends the guy red flags, right? And again, the guy can't help but think this. This is how the brain relates certain things. The brain's very lazy. It's always on autopilot. It fills in the gaps, okay? So when you say something and he doesn't get the whole story, he's going to fill in the gaps. Just like I say about confidence. Like if you're like this and you're always like, covered up and just like miserable, or you come off like it, even though you never said I have low confidence, the brain picks up that these are the cues of people who have low confidence, and there's a reason they have low confidence. So I want to avoid them, or they're seen as less attractive. The brain is literally telling you that person has low confidence. We're not attracted to that because that does more harm than good. So push them away, right? The same thing happens with single moms who are always in the victim mindsets. And I'm not saying moms are victims. I'm just saying that there's just any title you want to give someone in life, right? It doesn't matter. You're either a positive person most of the time. Again, you don't have to be all the time, but most of the time you're either positive or you're negative, right? And it's the negative moms who have the baggage that push the men away. So in the beginning, have fun, feel free, look like you're independent, that you take responsibility, that you're a strong woman, that you don't bitch about the guy, don't worry about the money, don't mention anything about those two things, and you will do so well with the guys that come into your life, okay? So with that being said, wrapping it all up, single moms are a blessing for men. I believe they are a huge blessing. I think it makes the man a better person. I think they're amazing to date. It's a 2-in-1 package, because if she has a son or daughter who's awesome, then that just makes it better. I'm telling you, it's one of those things like, kind of off topic, but kind of the same thing. It's like when you're fucking someone, excuse my language, when you're fucking someone or you're making love to them. Both is great, but when you make love to someone and their fucking soul, and the sex is just unbelievable, something you never had before, you will never want to go back to just banging someone. And again, I hate saying that, because a lot of people probably haven't made love, or they think they made love. Did I just spit there? Then they think they made love. But when you have, and it's just a whole different thing. And the same things with dating a single mom. When you date a single mom who's awesome, who's strong, who has an awesome child, who just loves you unconditionally or conditionally, it's just a whole new thing than just dating a woman without a kid, right? So with that being said, there you guys go. Love you. Peace. Let me know what you think about this guy's perspective, point of view kind of thing. I was going to make a series about it. I have a lot of videos or a lot of topics to go over. Jealousy, friends with benefits, what guys think after breakups, guys paying for dinner. I have a bunch of them. So let me know what you think in the comments below. If you haven't, please subscribe. Check out my ebook. It's 254 pages below. Absolutely free. I love you guys. Peace.